getting sued as a doctor or a surgeon, or maybe I shouldn't have smiled, shouldn't I? Because it can be a pretty grim affair. But you know what? The first thing is you've got to accept the inevitability that you're going to be sued as a doctor, especially if you're a surgeon. As soon as you put that knife to the skin, possibility of suing goes way up. Any procedures goes way up. Malpractice companies know this. So just accept it's going to happen. You know, I was in practice for about 5 years, wasn't sued. I thought, gee, this is good, it must be very good. No, it happens. Okay, the next thing is, we expect to be sued. You know, there's an error made. It may not have been your fault, but an error happened, a problem occurred, a complication occurred. They don't tend to mount to suits. It usually comes from way out far field. Something you never expect to end up as a suit. I'm going to illustrate some examples later. The next thing, don't expect the senior colleague to support you, or the hospital to support you. Maybe that they did in the past, but not now. They just dump it right on you. Everyone runs for cover. Now, what are you going to do about this? Well, I'm going to illustrate with a few case examples, may be useful. I'm also going to tell you about what I describe as patients who I think can become potentially litigious. But you know, the bottom line to all of this is to follow the advice of your malpractice insurance company. They're very well organised, and certainly in their interest to keep the number of successful suits against you down, so they keep the premiums down, they can make a profit. And they're usually very good at actually providing material. They send it out to you. So don't just throw it away. Read the information they send out to you. It's actually quite interesting just to see that everybody else is being sued too. Follow their guidelines. They're usually pretty reasonable actually. For example, wound infections. They tell you to take a swab as soon as you've got a worry. They can protect you, you know. Go to their seminars. They actually give some points, medical education points, or even reduce your premium if you go. They're actually quite interesting to go to these seminars. So put a bit of effort into this and do follow their guidelines. And if they want to come and visit you in your practice, don't block it. Encourage them to come along and talk to them. It can be very useful exercise. Now, some patients that I think are a bit of a worry, and to me raise all the red lights that you're going to be sued. And this reflects on my own bias. First one is patients who call you by your first name straight off. Hi Jane, how are you? Come on. You know, it's a doctor-patient relationship. The person sitting in front of you is not your friend, they're a patient. Now you get your friend down to the pub or in a club or online, wherever else you meet your friends. They're not your friend. Don't get confused about this. A lot of medical students, young doctors, want to be friendly with everybody. Yes, you be friendly and pleasant. They're not your friend. As soon as you cross that boundary, all sorts of problems occur. You know, people get their expectations go up or become unrealistic. You know, I had registrars in the past say they might be Greek, and they say to me, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and practice in the Greek community, I'll clean up. Really? Do you really think so? What happens is when you go out and think, oh, I'm Italian, I'm going to treat all Italian, oh, I'm Greek, oh, I'm Irish. You know what? People start crossing the boundaries. I'll be calling you up day and night, putting unrealistic expectations on you. So patients calling your first name, that's not so good. Next thing is a patient make a whole lot of noise before they even see you. What I mean is, you know, out the front there, phoning to make an appointment, lots of phone calls, changing the appointment dates, even writing letters already before they see you, complaining that they can't get in to see you soon enough. So they're making a lot of noise before they even see you. So I find these cases where on the lookout. Patients who get abusive and aggressive right at the beginning. Gee, this is a bit strange. So you've got to start documenting, writing everything down, document all these interactions. Get your secretary to record the abuse that they received on the phone. Write it down. The secretary writes it down in their own handwriting and signs it as being a truthful account of what they've experienced in terms of dealing with this patient. This is all very useful. Okay, now I'll give you some stories you won't believe it. First of all, dead man sues. Yeah, you do an operation, patient dies not because of the problem related to the operation, they just die for something totally unrelated. The lawyers in the meetings beforehand, the negotiation meetings and whatnot, manage to hide that from you. So the patient dies, but still the suit goes on. Yeah, so dead man sues, never get away from it. Another one, you're in court, patient says a problem occurred after an operation, say some nerve problem occurred. you're up there. The judges can take a very sympathetic viewpoint towards a patient. Yeah, okay, and actually prompting and helping. Yeah, these are tricky. Prompting and helping the prosecution, prompting and helping them. You think, gee, this is not going too well today. I'm being hammered up here. Even the plaintiff's lawyers are being helped by the judge. You turn, you look down in the courtroom, the patient's sitting there. Not a problem with them. They've got no complication. If they did have one, it's all largely resolved. So you know you're just being calmed. Hey, you talk to your lawyers, say, I think it probably needs to be settled. There's no way out. You know, so sometimes you just can't. Next thing is, you think you've been really nice to the patient. One of the things that your malpractice insurance companies do emphasize is communicating, being friendly, being available. Well, you know, to a certain extent, sometimes these patients, some of these cases go back to haunt you. I had a patient, surgery on the foot, they developed a complication. They got a good correction, but they developed a complication. It's going to take several months of therapy to correct, but it would have been corrected. Actually, I was very sympathetic to the patient, middle-aged woman. I saw her, she and her husband, she was going through some sort of gender, sexual crisis. I think she was becoming a lesbian, and wondering whether she was a lesbian. I used to talk, be very sympathetic, everything. Lo and behold, they sued you. You know, it's no use to become bitter and twisted, get angry with all your patients, get angry with your staff. Just follow the guidelines of practice, of your malpractice insurance company. Just be aware there are certain patients who are litigious right from the start, and document, write down everything. By the way, don't ever change your notes. Don't change something you wrote previously. Write something underneath it, date it and time it. So good luck, and I hope you're not sued too often.